Okay, right off the bat, we have a lot to cover here. So, we start off the episode with the scene from chapter 93 where the Marleyan general lays out the fact that the Titan powers are being countered by new weaponry from other countries, and it's only a matter of time until their Titan powers prove to be useless. Now, this scene was much longer in the manga. It had much more dialogue that added to the understanding of the whole situation, and some lines that gave Zeke some time to shine. I'm honestly fine with the shortening of the scene, as it didn't necessarily need to be any longer, and Zeke got his time to stand out as a character here. I have to say, Magath looks a little weird here. We'll get to that later. After a conversation between Zeke, Colt, and Magath about the operation to seize Parati, we get to see Reiner having a nightmare reminiscing about the battle for Shiganshina 5 years ago. The most interesting thing about this nightmare scene is that they actually used previous footage from Wit Studio, if I'm not mistaken. This was quite the surprise. I thought that they would have had to reanimate those scenes or take them out completely, but I guess Wit gave them permission to use them. Here we get our first introductions to the new warrior cast. Porco looks and sounds great, and so does Peak. Peak is probably my favorite Attack on Titan character ever, so finally seeing her human form in the anime was quite the experience. Her voice is also very well done. Okay, this next scene is probably my favorite from the episode. Reiner meets up with the kids for quite the wholesome moment. The new guitar OST playing in the background really made this scene extremely sweet. That happy atmosphere is quickly interrupted with Reiner having PTSD flashbacks and seeing the old warriors and the new kid candidates. This shot with the beautiful sunset in the background was really well done. While a drunk Colt helps boost Gabby's ego, a displeased Falco stands in the back along with Reiner. At first it seems like jealousy, but it turns out that he's just worried about Gabby's life being wasted as a Titan shifter. Reiner is quick to respond with angry eyes, reminding him of the honor of inheriting one of the 9. This scene was also really well done in the anime. Once they return to their hometown, we get more dialogue and scenes with the old warriors than in the manga. They seem much more involved with the kids in the anime, which is good because it allows the audience to like them more earlier on. This whole dinner scene where the Braun family is cheering on Gabby for murdering all those soldiers and saving Eldia was kind of unsettling considering how relaxed they were about this. Reiner ends up reminiscing about his time on Parati, revealing that he does in fact miss some of his old friends from back on the island. His mother is quick to dismiss that thought though, claiming that the island Eldians are devils, whereas the Eldians who live in Marley are good people. So here's something weird. We get a scene where an Eldian is jumping off of a roof in the night. This is quite the saddening scene, which adds to the depressing atmosphere of the Eldian life in Marley. But this scene just kind of felt random and out of place. It was not in the manga either. Finally, the Warhammer Titan is mentioned. I had a huge grin when Zeke brought up the Tiber family and the Warhammer shifter they possess. I can't wait till they enter into the anime, which will be very soon. So, now that we've gone over the overall episode, I'm just going to give you my thoughts. Before I get into it, if you're interested in tons of anime and manga related stuff, along with weekly episode reviews for Attack on Titan, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would absolutely make my day. So, there was a lot going on in this episode. They went through information from 3 chapters. A lot of dialogue was cut out, like Gabby's scene with the gatekeepers and Porco's interaction with Reiner. However, aside from that, there were very important pieces of information within these chapters that were completely cut from the anime. Some of these dialogue pieces are easy to move to other scenes, but some aren't, which makes me worried. I hope these important pieces of information eventually get explained in the anime. Now, about the animation. Some people aren't really liking it here, and there's a reason for that. Mappa decided to use rotoscoping on various shots in this episode specifically, giving the characters a more lively look during basic conversations. This was done well, but there are a few clunky shots that took me out of it at times. So, here's my overall score for this episode. I honestly enjoyed this one a lot despite the missing content. I can live with most of the stuff they cut out not being there. It's the important information that I hope is put in at a later time. Are you guys excited to see Reiner's past in the next episode? Comment below what your thoughts are on this one. See you guys later.